Hey everyone, I'm Swishtari, and today's video is an in-depth guide on mastering 7 in Deadlock. Known as a beginner-friendly hero due to his accessible mechanics and low skill floor, 7 still offers plenty of depth, much like the game itself. He's fun to learn, but challenging to master, making him one of the best representations of Deadlock's dynamic gameplay. 7 is a quintessential backline damage dealer who dishes out heavy lightning damage from a safe distance. His primary tool, the lightning ball, can shred enemies, especially when combined with the stun from his static charge. While he takes a bit of time to ramp up, once 7 accumulates souls, he can become a formidable carry later in the game. His versatility shines through with various build options, from focusing on rapid lightning ball fire, precise electric shots, double stuns, or even summoning an unstoppable storm cloud. Today we'll cover his abilities, optimal combos, and overall strategy. If you learned something new, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment to say hi. 7's 1 lightning ball fires a ball of lightning in a straight line, dealing ticking damage in an area. Each hit slows the projectile until it passes the target, continuing until it collides with a wall or the ground. In the early game, the ball is smaller. You can use this to last hit minions, saving ammo for confirming a soul, or to displace an enemy with some damage. You should consider upgrading extra charges for rapid fire potential to boost your early game damage. Quick timing tip, make sure you aim to throw the ball about 3 seconds after applying your static charge. This timing helps to ensure it lands where the enemy will be when the stun triggers. The lightning ball can also be used as an effective zoning tool to push opponents out of cover and control angles. Just be cautious when clearing waves, as souls may be easily denied by your opponents. 7's 2 static charge applies a charge to the target, and after a 3.5 second delay, it erupts to stun and damage all enemies within its radius. New players often forget that you must first hit 2 to activate this and then click on your target within the cone. Use this ability as soon as possible in a teamfight. Many enemies will try to escape or hide around a corner early on. If you have the advantage, pursue them, combine with a lightning ball, and aim to maximize the stun damage. Your first talent point should be to reduce this ability's cooldown, and additional upgrades can follow later. You can also self-cast this ability by holding your self-cast key. I use the middle mouse button and pressing 2, or vice versa, to stun enemies around you after charging in. This tactic is especially useful for stealing the rejuvenation buff mid-game. The Echo Shard can allow for back-to-back stuns, leaving opponents vulnerable for up to 5 seconds. 7's 3 Power Surge enhances your weapon to bounce between targets, adding shock damage with each hit. The first talent point here provides a 50% spirit resist shred, which is very valuable early upgrade. The bouncing damage can also trigger Tesla bullets, creating a chain lightning effect that can decimate enemies during teamfights. 7's ultimate ability, Storm Cloud, summons an expanding lightning storm that damages all enemies in a large area around 7 as he channels it into the air. While channeling Storm Cloud, 7 can click to activate, striking lightning in the targeted area, damaging and knocking back enemies. This is an extremely powerful ultimate ability that can completely clear out a teamfight area. This pairs really well with Infuser, so make sure you pop it just before. Make sure you hold your Ascension key at tier 3 to fly higher in the air, making you harder to CC or damage directly. You can save your lightning strike to finish off a weak enemy hero, or send it right away to press them off you. Some builds focus on increasing this damage and range right away to make the ultimate even deadlier. My build is more rounded, but this can be very effective. The most common counter for this ultimate is the knockdown item. If you see enemies purchasing this and you want your ultimate to remain effective, you'll have to buy Unstoppable and pop it before you ult. Here's a copy of my build, Swish 7, and its upgrade path in-game, which is also available in the store. On the early game, you want to focus on maximizing the lightning ball damage to contest lanes and counter your opponents during your weaker phase. As you farm souls, you'll transition into a heavy damage dealing role with Power Surge, using it to shock enemies and dominate team engagements. Sustain is the key with 7, so make sure you use Spirit Lifesteal to keep him healthy while you dish out damage from the back line. For my starting items, I typically begin with Basic Magazine and Infuser. Basic Magazine boosts the weapon damage by 18% and increases the ammo by 26%, making your shots more potent. While the Infuser enhances ammo and life shield, it also gives you a quick burst, giving you 20% Spirit Lifesteal and 16 Spirit Power. Use it for quick healing or added burst damage depending on the situation. You should also pick up monster rounds to help you control difficult matchups and clear jungle camps quickly. Enduring an extra spirit can provide additional sustain and damage boosts in the early game. Extra regen and rapid rounds are excellent for maintaining a steady rate of fire and healing. 7's gun is very strong early on, so make sure you're hitting your shots to poke efficiently throughout the early game. You should pick up Soul Shredder bullets to capitalize on 7's high bullet velocity and bouncing effects. Healing Booster is a strong early addition if you're confident in your damage and the Spirit Lifesteal that this will benefit from. In tougher situations, consider switching to defensive items like Bullet Armor, Healbane, or Spirit Armor. Rapid Recharge is one of my first major purchases, reducing the cooldown on Lightning Ball so you can spam it for lane control or jungle clearing. Fleetfoot and improved cooldown pave the way for the next phase of the build, ensuring mobility and reducing downtime. For massive damage output, Tesla Bullets and Surge of Power trigger lightning chains that can catch the enemies off guard. Later upgrades like Mystic Vulnerability, Duration Extender, Titanic Magazine, and Spiritual Overflow further boost the damage. Suppressor and Mystic Slow are invaluable in the late game to counter enemy carries by reducing their attack speed and movement speed. If the game extends further, make sure you upgrade your Mystic Vulnerability to Escalating Exposure and beef up your armor and lifesteal options. Unstoppable and Metal Skin offer added resilience against enemy CC and bullet damage carries, while Diviner's Kevlar can shield you during ultimate focus plays. Luxury upgrades like Superior Cooldown or Improved Duration may go on your Static Charge if you're looking to squeeze every bit of efficiency. Items like Echo Shard or Shadow Weave can be fun for double stun setups, though they're expensive and situational. This build is meant to remain flexible. Make sure you adapt your item choices based on whether you're winning or losing, what types of damage or abilities your opponents use, and what benefits your team most in fights. Don't be afraid to sacrifice luxury upgrades or even core items for necessary counters.
Let's review a few combos for 7. The first combo I call in the early game the Shakalaka. While lasting minions near an enemy position, ideally around a corner, you use Static Charge on them, rush in and activate Power Surge and fire off your shots. Then pop Infuser and throw a Lightning Ball, anticipating where the enemy will be when the stun lands. This combo can trap foes effectively and deal a ton of damage. Just be ready to disengage if they're stronger than you, as this combo will leave you exposed without many options to escape. As the game progresses, precision is key with 7. Ensure that you hit your shots to trigger Power Surge jumps and Tesla Bullet chains. If you can't directly see the enemy, feel free to target minions, as the bounce range is very impressive at 11 meters. From the back line, pop Infuser and Static Charge on any enemy in range, and then spam Lightning Ball as cooldown permits. In terms of using the ultimate, my build reserves the ultimate as a last resort tool. If the enemy team dives in and you've exhausted your other abilities, activate Infuser and combine it with your ultimate. The added healing can sometimes outlast the enemy, forcing them to retreat. But remember, your ultimate is supplementary. Your core abilities and accurate shots are what will secure victory in teamfights. One of the most important techniques with 7 is the Rejuv Steal technique. Timing is critical here. Make sure you listen for the boss's death sound and count to 5. Then cast Static Charge on yourself, take a deep breath and sprint across the veil to initiate a heavy melee attack on Rejuv. Use Lightning Ball, pop Infuser, and your ultimate, and then pray for success. With practice, you can consistently steal the Rejuv buff. In the final stages of the game, make sure you use your ultimate to keep enemies from pushing down your base. Utilize the zipline mechanic to elevate your ultimate, chopping down minions, and always make sure to cancel it before a fatal blow if it means you can reset your position. Remember, the ultimate isn't your main source of damage. Effective use of your abilities and keen aiming are essential. Once you're in the Storm Cloud, you're committed. Ensure that you've used all of your other actives like Infuser, Metal Skin, or Unstoppable before. I hope you've learned some valuable insights into playing 7 effectively. With these strategies, builds, and combos, you're well on your way to dominating the battlefield. Thanks for watching and good luck out there. Now go shock 'em dead.